$1 billion. That's not some GDP of a random country, or that's not some tech startup valuation. That's what one family spent on a single wedding party in one day. Yeah, that's insane. While I was researching, I couldn't stop thinking that what does that mean that you have so much money that spending 1 billion on a party makes sense to you? So today we're going through most expensive wedding parties in history. Numbers are insane. You cannot believe it. I'm warning you. But at the end, I'm going to tell you what this all means to you and your money. So let's go to have some party. Okay, I'm gonna start from the bottom of the list. The 1 billion party wedding is the top, so you should wait to see that. The number 5 wedding happened recently, exactly 1 year ago, which is Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez's wedding. Just in case you thought $1 billion weddings were a thing of the past, in June 2025, Jeff Bezos married the journalist Lauren Sanchez in Venice, Italy. Estimated cost between 46 and 56 million. Oprah Winfrey, Leonardo DiCaprio, Tom Brady, or even Kim Kardashian, all guests. The reception was held at the historic Venetian Arsenal. Several days of the festivals in one of the most beautiful cities in the world. But outside the venue, locals were protesting because Venice has become so expensive that everyday Venetians can no longer afford to live there. And here was the world's second richest man celebrating in the middle of it. Okay, let's go to number 4, wedding. You will hear from me about Anand Ambani's wedding in video further. But what I'm talking about right now in number 4 wedding is Anand Ambani's sister Isha wedding, which they spent $100 million. Love for extravagance runs in the Ambani family. Anand's older sister Isha Ambani married financier Anand Piramal in 2018, and her wedding cost an estimated 100 millions. Pre-wedding events at Lake Como in Italy, John Legend performing at the engagement party, Beyoncé performing at the wedding itself, 16,000 guests over multiple days, and the 65-foot wedding dress train worth over 12 millions. 2 siblings, 2 weddings combined cost 700 millions just from one family in one decade. This is what it looks like when wealth compounds across generations. You cannot even believe it. Finally, we have a royal wedding in our list. That's so sad and so not sad at the same moment. I do not know if you get me. So the third place is Prince Charles and Princess Diana's wedding, which is called the wedding of the century. July 29th, 1981. 750 million people watched it on television. 3,000 and 1,500 guests inside St. Paul's Cathedral in London, and the price tag of 48 million, which adjusted for inflation today is closer to 164 millions. Prince Charles married Lady Diana Spencer in what the world called the wedding of the century. Diana's dress had a 25-foot train, the longest in royal wedding history, decorated with over 10,000 pearls. They didn't have one wedding cake, they had 27. But here's the detail that has stopped me when I was just researching about this. 32 millions of the budget went purely to security. Not flowers, not even food, or not even dress. Just for security. Because when you hold that much power and that much wealth, protecting it costs almost as much as celebrating it. And we all know how that story ended. The fairy tale wedding, the difficult marriage, the divorce, the tragedy. Proof that no amount of money can guarantee the thing we actually want the most. Okay, everybody, hold your breath. We're just one step away of our first place. Our second wedding is Anant Ambani and Radhika Merchant wedding, which they spent $600 million on that wedding. Let's go through the story. Okay, number 2 on our list didn't happen in a palace. It happened in India and it lasted 7 months. Anant Ambani, son of Mushka Ambani, Asia's richest man, married Radhika Merchant in 2024 in what became one of the most talked about celebrations in history. Estimated costs $600 million. This wasn't just a wedding, it was a series of events that includes a week-long Mediterranean cruise for 800 guests, a Sangit night with Justin Bieber performing, pre-wedding parties with Katy Perry and the Backstreet Boys, and a 3-day final wedding ceremony attended by Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, and basically every powerful person on the planet. The bride's outfit was adorned with diamonds and had been worn by her grandmother, her mother, and her sister at their own weddings. Multi-generational jewelry at a 600 million party. Now here's what I found fascinating about the Ambani's family specifically. Mushka's Ambani's father, Dhirubhai, started with almost nothing, a gas station attendant who built a textile business from scratch. One generation later, his grandson is having a 600 million wedding. That's what generational wealth building actually looks like. Not the wedding, but the journey that made the wedding possible. Okay. Ready for the first? Our first place, the most expensive wedding party of all time, of just all time of human being on earth, took place in Moscow in 2016, which costs $1 billion. Let's go through the story. The most expensive wedding ever recorded happened in Moscow in 2016. The bride was Khadija Uzhakova, a 20-year-old dentistry student. The groom was Said Gustriv, son of Russian oil tycoon and media mogul Mikhail Gustriv, and dad paid for everything. The bill reportedly close to $1 billion. Actually, let that sink in for a second. $1 billion on one day. The bride's dress alone, designed by Elisab, covered in crystals, cost $1 million. It was so heavy she needed help fucking down the aisle. The venue in Moscow was covered floor to ceiling in fresh flowers. Over 600 guests attended, and the entertainment? Sting, Enrique Iglesias, and Jennifer Lopez all performed. A second reception was then held in London, because apparently one city wasn't enough. And the groom's father, the man who wrote the check for all of this, is worth an estimated 6 billion, built entirely from oil and media. So to him, $1 billion wedding used roughly 16% of his entire fortune spent on one party. Which actually raises a question. Is that just what happens when money stop having meaning? So, okay, we just finished our list, and here's the educational part, which we should go through the weddings and see what we learned from them. First, above all of the notes that I took from these weddings, is that all of these families that we went through, they just got their money from oil, technology, real estate, or they were royalties. And for them, wedding is not just the way they make money out of it, is a celebration of wealth. They do not make money out of weddings. So, marrying rich does not actually make you rich. It's just level up your budgets. Okay, the second point, generational wealth is real and is reachable internationally. That is the good news, actually. Dhirubhai Ambani, if I'm pronouncing it correct, he didn't make the wealth for just himself. He made it for his family, his children's, his grandchildren's, and that's what made him that international wedding which everyone talked about. And the third point, which is actually the most important for you and me. The gap between a 29,000 wedding and the bullion wedding is not luck. It is not just something that happens to you every day by some random things. It's just financial knowledge compounded over time across generations. Which means what we are doing here in this channel is just the first steps and the beginning of our journey to make our family, our children, our grandchildren in future wealthy, and the wealth just goes through generation. Next week, I am starting the journey of financial independency for women. And if you don't want to miss it, just subscribe my channel. We are going through your relationship with money and we are going to fix that in the next video. And if this video makes you think differently about money, just share it with another woman which you want her to hear this. So bye!